So, without further ado, let me introduce our speaker today. It's a great honor for me to introduce Alicia. It's a great pleasure to be with her today, Alisa Wisanji. She has a doctorate in physics and a postdoc in mathematics. She is developing and implementing programs for educational support for vulnerable populations. She's been doing that for over 20 years throughout Canada. She is a teacher and avid researcher at Cégep Marie-Victorin since 2014. And in 2015, she founded École des Grands. It's a after-school program with tutoring and mentoring, supporting educational success for vulnerable students in different levels of education. So in 2019, Alicia created the W Foundation, a charitable foundation to give equality of chances and help vulnerable populations have educational success. She is a visionary that transforms education in Quebec with her program École des Grands. She received the Mention of Honor, a prize in 2017. She became a member of the Order of Excellence of Education in 2022, and she receives the King's Medal 2023, King Charles III's medal in 2023. So have a great webinar, everybody. I hope you will find it very interesting. I'm sure you will enjoy the presentation by Alicia Wisanji. Thank you, Nicole. Very much appreciated. Thank you to the AQPC for your invitation. Thank you, everybody who is present today for this webinar. The idea is to do this a bit informally, so you can ask your questions as they come, and we will take them on as Nicole can ask them, and I will take the time to answer. And if there's many questions on one subject, we can spend some more time on it at the end. So thank you for your interest and presence today. I would like first to cast a wider net than just École des Grands, so that independently of where you are, what cégep and what level you're at, you can get something from it, if you will. So I will start by sharing my screen. Do you see my screen? Yes? Nicole? Yes, yes, I do. Perfect, thank you. So the idea here is not only am I going to present the results with social adaptation, educational success at different levels, men in college, among others. So I'm going to give you some tools to be able to understand these different pieces of data and develop these tools to serve the success of our students. So we will begin with the context, what the program is, what it means, and the context first. So we know that a collegial diploma, those who do it in 2 years as they are supposed to, or 3 years for a technical program in 3 years, regular in 2, that's 30%, less than 30% that graduate on time, 27.6. If we look at those who finish 2 years later, so 4 years or 5, depending on the program. So it's still above 58%. So if you have no life like me and you look at the SRAM statistics for the last decades, the numbers have been going down. So that's why we will have to have some programs to support educational success at different levels, college in particular, for vulnerable populations specifically. So vulnerable populations at college is a catch-all term, if you will, here in Quebec. I want to really connect it to scientific literature, meaning we're going to define a college student that is at risk, meaning a student that comes into cégep with an average of less than 70% of general average. So that means that he underperformed, the student underperformed, which puts them at risk for the educational future. So that's how we define it. In Quebec, in general, it's 1 out of 5 males that don't finish high school. And when we look at both sexes, we're at 15.6%. So there's a second issue that we see here is the dropout rate in high school, which is significant. It varies from one region to the next. So there's some regions it's 1/3, and others it's 1 out of 5, and others are less than that for men. So we're going to go work upstream and look at elementary school to prevent high school dropouts. So, what is l'École des Grands? I'm going to maybe take a minute to explain the origins of this project. My family 5 generations ago was in India, and my parents are born in Africa, and I'm the first generation born in Quebec and Granby. I went to Cégep de Granby. When I was 8 years old, the Minister of Education came into our family and asked if we can be a host family for refugees that left Afghanistan because of the war. This is the beginning of the 90s. And my parents said yes, not because we were Afghan, but because we were the rare family of immigrants in Granby. So we hosted 250 refugees over 10 years. And from the age of 8, I understood very quickly that education can be a very significant tool for many parents, but not all parents had the tools to help their child with their education. So at 8 years old, I found it unfair that a child my age, that was my little brother or sister, adopted brother or sister, didn't have the same chances as I did because they came from a refugee camp and didn't speak French and hadn't gone to school yet, and so they didn't get the help they needed. So I started helping them. At 8 years old, I started tutoring, and I did that until the end of Cégep in Granby. And at 18, when I went to Montreal for university, I had a lot more people to help that I could. So I collected some money with my family. We started a first tutoring center for Granby for children of war, so refugees. So when my postdoc work, I opened 5 of these centers around the province for children of refugees of war countries, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, others, where we would help 800 children per weekend in 5 regions of Quebec. And I really learned a lot through all of this. And at 30, when I finished my studies and I got my first formal job at Cégep Marie-Victorin as a teacher, I saw that it was 1 out of 4 in Montréal-Nord that did not finish high school. And these are not necessarily children that come from war-torn countries. They're children born in Quebec. So I went to the Cégep. I said, I have a program for you. I have an idea. It's the optimization of 30 years of experience with Afghans. My little brother called it École des Grands, the big time school, the school for big time. So to take a child and bring them to a higher level with tutoring and mentoring and helping progress their education with the different tools that we can give them, take them by the hand and give them access to Cégep to bring a child up that is at risk of dropping out of high school and bring them up to college or Cégep. So it's tearing down barriers, physical and mental, to help them with their post-secondary studies. So I hope you understand a bit the origins of my project. What is l'École des Grands? The vision is to reduce poverty through education. The mission is to contribute to equality of chances, to give vulnerable populations access to educational success. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're going to use the expertise, the infrastructure, and social engagement that are in place already in the educational network. So first, support the educational success of our students in college, particularly those at risk. Second objective, support the success of vulnerable students at elementary school to prevent high school dropouts. So, how does it work? The program is Saturday mornings from 9 to noon. So 10 Saturdays in fall and 10 in winter. And obviously, 10 Saturdays out of 15 weeks per semester at the college level. So our mentors are volunteers from different programs in Cégep, and they have different experiences and different profiles, and they get a commendation for their work, and they get 3 absences. So if they are there 7 Saturdays out of 10, they get the honorable mention, the commendation for engagement. So they have to be 7 out of 15 weeks of the semester, so it's very accessible for them. And I will talk about that, about recruiting mentors, about recruiting volunteers. I know that for many, they see it like a barrier, but it's the easiest part of the project, really. Just a question. You say, I want to favorize the educational success of students in CEGEP that are at risk. That means that you will look for students at risk for l'École des Grands, for your project. Well, we want to help everybody. There's no barrier to recruitment to enter l'École des Grands. Everybody is accepted, and I will talk about that. But there will be 3 types of college students that will be mentors with us. But it's also a platform where the students that are at risk are welcomed. So all those that Tremplin d'Aide outside who didn't have the grades to be tutors at Centre d'Aide in French, we want those guys. So those students. So it's a platform where any student, independently of their profile, independently of their educational success, can get involved. We don't want it to be an elitist program. We want it to be open to everybody. It's not like you have to have a certain percentage, a certain average. We wanted everybody to be able to benefit from this kind of program. Thank you for the question. Thank you, Nicole. So how does it work? Well, the children, the students, come in around 8:30. The project organizer is there, and the coordinator is there, takes everybody on the bus to the CEGEP, where they are welcomed by the mentors, by the college students from different programs, different disciplines, and different levels. And so they will have a breakfast where the mentors, the tutors, and the students will eat together to create some bonding time. So the children often don't get breakfast or haven't eaten much the day before. So there will be 2 40-minute periods for tutoring in French and math. Then there will be a 40-minute period where the mentors will go to the science lab or the computer lab. It varies. It'll alternate. And they will do activities, labs for science and computer science. So at noon, everything is done. They take the bus back to the primary school, and where the parents pick them up, and then there will be a debriefing with the mentors from the coordinator to look at the different tools we're developing, and then the mentors will be out by 1 p.m. So I'm going to talk about the recruitment of mentors, but also the project coordinator. So the recruitment of mentors, tutors, they are college students from the CEGEP level. The recruitment is easy. This whole program is turnkey. So recruitment will be a memo that you can use that's already been made all for you. So you can use that and go to different classrooms and different kinds of programs to recruit mentors. So 50% will have come because they've seen the memo, and 50% because you visited the classrooms. So it's the easiest thing to recruit mentors for this program. I know it's counterintuitive, maybe. It may seem strange, but there are a lot of mentors who want to come and work with us on Saturday mornings. We are in 23 CEGEPs in 12 regions, and that's what the coordinators are saying. And they apprehended, they were worried about recruitment, but it turned out to be the easiest thing because a lot of people wanted to come help us, and a lot of people have these values. They want to help the community. They want to make a difference, especially in the current context, and it's a nice platform to help the college students get involved. And we have a lot of them who want to. So there are 3 types of people who will come and be mentors. I'm going to explain. There are those who do well at school and want the honorable mention. They want the commendation on their diploma because they want to further their education. But everybody will get it. But the second group are those who want to validate one of their professional choices, those who want to validate a vocation, those who are into education, those who like specialized education, who want to study early childhood education, social work, nursing, police, all of that, those who work in the social sciences, they want to validate their choices. It's also a great place to allow them to learn and progress without being judged or evaluated. So it's a safe space. It's a place to learn and to discover. The third category of college students, cégep students that will be mentors at l'École des Grands, is often young people that come from the neighborhood that have been through difficulties, that have now progressed to cégep and want to make a difference and give back to the community. So for them, it'll be a great platform for involvement. And this mix of different kinds of mentors will really be a synergistic kind of combination, and everybody feeds off each other and progresses together. So for primary school students, elementary school students at the W Foundation and the different teams from the different CEGEPs, we have identified the centers with the average that are higher than the average in Quebec so I'm primary schools, elementary schools next to your CEGEP with a high socioeconomic index. So let me explain. The minister gives us a score of 1 to 10. At 1, you are in defavorized or disadvantaged, and 10, you are in favorized milieu défavorisé. So in these schools, social scores, they will identify students that could participate in this program because they know the family history, the tools that the students have access to. So the only criteria that we're going to give at the primary level, elementary level, is students at the regular branch of education with averages of 50-70%. So if the child is lower 30%, let's say, he needs special education, he needs to ortho specialized education, and we cannot take the place of specialized education. So if he's higher than that, he is 90 plus, and he comes to École des Grands, what the impact studies show is that motivation goes down because they feel like they're not really useful because the student is already excellent. So where they will improve their score, and the college students who are with us is between 50 and 70% general average. So are there questions on that? Nicole, there are no questions. Yes, it's very interesting. Well, thank you. So that is the sandbox we work in at Fondation BLDB. We will teach them how to build a sandbox and put all your different local flavors and every possible thing in your vanilla ice cream to make a sundae. So everything I've talked about is here in this table. So the criteria for selection at elementary and high school level, maximum 60 per program. So 60 maximum from 1 to 6, so 10 per level, because that's what fits into a small yellow bus, because buses cost a lot. So if you start a program in first grade, for example, you want to apply with a project, nothing is stopping you to do that on a smaller scale if you want to. What will determine that is the number of mentors. So it's 2 for 1 that we want to keep, a ratio of 30 mentors, tutors per season, fall and winter, for 60 students. So the students in elementary school are there throughout the year, and mentors are there for 1 semester. They can do 2 if they want to. And so 30 in the fall and 30 in the winter. If we start the pilot project and you say, I'm in a small CEGEP, I think there's 10 and 10 per season, we will go with that. And we'll say to the primary school, will send us 20 children, 20 students. So we can do it smaller scale if we want to begin the project and to make sure all the partners are comfortable. So we will grow organically if you want to. The only criteria for selection for college will be the criminal record, because they will have to work with vulnerable children and minors. So a lot of CEGEPs have already put in place a protocol for this, so you can just use that. If your CEGEP has no protocol for security checks, we can help you to develop that with your local police station. So it takes 6 classes, 6 classrooms, that's what you need on 1 floor, and 1 lab for science or computer science. So We will train your coordinator and pick the schedule together and determine the schedule as per your CEGEP. So everything is turnkey. The whole program is already built, of course. So you just have to adapt it to your own reality. So the mentors come in before 9 to prepare the classroom and put everything in place. The students are there from 9 to noon. The students leave at noon. From 12 to 12:30, there's a debriefing, and then the mentors will leave usually at 1 o'clock. They have work in the afternoon. So the winning conditions has to be free for students, and also the mentors are there free of charge, of course. And we have external analysts and a impact report, and offer transportation also, and breakfast for the students. I will show you the plan where we all separate the costs, and to give a commendation of engagement to the students that meet the criteria to be mentors. So I'm going to show you the impact at the college level, at the elementary level. Are there any questions before we do that? There are no questions. Everything is very clear and well presented. Thank you. Don't worry. If you have any questions, we'll take the time to answer them. So, impact study. We've done this since 2015 with the UQAM, and there's Ecob from Cégep de Jonquière who is joining us for this impact study. So, we'll show you what we have done in the past, and it's all public on our website at the W Foundation. And then I will show you the impact study, the results. So, what are we measuring with all of these people? Université de Montréal, UQAM, and ECOB. So we're looking at École des Grands in the current context. By the structure, it's engagement and support of autonomy in the students will favorize the motivational factors for education, feeling of competence, belonging, and autonomy. So if that is on or not, how does it relate into engagement and adjustment or maladjustment? So we're going to look at the orange squares, which are the indicators of success. So indicators of success, it's a process, things that are short-term, medium-term, and long-term. So the end of the process is educational success, is good grades and good success in education. So these are the orange boxes that are significant. So these are the indicators of risk. We are the only ones in Quebec to measure all of the process for educational success at the college level in a quantitative way with numbers, not in a qualitative way. It's not Melissa 17 who says, I like this, it's good. No, it's the process that we measure with numbers, with data. We have researchers that are specialized in many of these indicators, one or many, engagement, motivation, etc. We do that differently. We look at it as a process. At the elementary level, what I want to show you is the grades. This is just the effect on educational success with regards to grades and performance. If you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A tab. So let's go. Just to show you the last Saturday of fall and winter, we have a little graduation ceremony to encourage the perseverance of our students and the engagement of our mentors. So there's the CEGEP director who is there, Collège Hansik. There are the parents. There are the parents of the mentors as well. There are also elected officials, the media that was there as well. It's a great way to connect your CEGEP to the community. CEGEP Hansik had made some T-shirts for all the students, first grade students. They all got a graduation certificate. So really cute. So the impact of École des Grands, you can see that in our impact studies in our website, but I just want to comment the results for you. The first study, 2016-2018, two CEGEPs in one administrative region. So statistically significant results in intrinsic motivation. So show you how to read this. The time, period 1 is the beginning of the semester before École des Grands starts. The period 2 is the end of the semester in the fall after École des Grands has ended. So there are 10 Saturdays between point 1 and point 2. So in pink, you have the score of intrinsic motivation that are mentors. We see that it goes up. In green, you have the control group, the first control group, students at the college level who have filled out our questionnaires and are involved in nothing in Cégep. They just go to school and go home. So their intrinsic motivation goes down. In blue, you have students for the same Cégeps who have filled out our questionnaires that participate in anything that gives them a commendation, that except École des Grands, like the Pierre Lavoie, Sport Études, radio, anything they can get a commendation that is not École des Grands. We can see that their intrinsic motivation goes down with time. Now, if you look at this over a longer period, you'll say, well, look, your students at l'École des Grands are motivated already in the beginning. They have more motivation at the outset, and you would be right. The students at École des Grands have more motivation in the beginning, and it's true. So what we do is we zoomed in on this 126-person sample, and we looked at who went into Cégep with an average below 70, who was at risk at the college level. This is what we saw with our at-risk students. And we had the mentors that had a lower intrinsic motivation for the mentors, and it increased statistically after École des Grands. Their engagement in studies had increased with their mentors versus the two control groups that went down, and the feeling of autonomy, the sentiment of autonomy in their studies has increased significantly compared to the other two groups, control and at risk. So all students have their limits. Our limit is our sample size. So that's the size of our sample. That's why we do this every year, to increase the sample size and increase the analysis capacity, so that it's statistically significant. So we did this in 4 Cégeps in 3 regions. Before the pandemic, we saw the same thing, meaning an attachment to the Cégep that goes down a little bit with our mentors, but that decreases statistically significantly of the engaged group of students. And I didn't have enough samples for non-engagement students, but l'École des Grands is a buffer here for attachment to the Cégep, and self-perception of skill has increased in a marginally significant way for our mentors versus the engaged students engaged in normal student life. So there you go. So it helps educational success, but particularly with at-risk students. So I'm going to give you the data that will be published in the media end of March, beginning of April. That's why we're asking you to not share this presentation, to keep this confidential. It's 7 years of data, 2016 to 2023, minus 2 years of pandemic, so there's 5 years of data. It's been done in 7 Cégeps, 5 regions. This is what we found. Social adaptation, which is one of the orange boxes for indicators of risk of educational success, as our study shows a significant degree of success. So the female mentors that are at École des Grands had increased their social adaptations in a significant way versus the control group in the pink line, which is the students that are engaged otherwise than École des Grands, and the control group, which are the non-engaged students. So for women, it had a positive impact to participate in École des Grands, and we saw the same thing with men at the college level. So increase of social adaptation at the for the mentors, and something non-significant at the control group, and something going down, data that shows that it's going down at the with the non-engaged students, and non-significant for engaged students. So are we following? Is everybody clear on this? I'm going to explain why this is important, but do we have any questions? There's a question, but it's more on the number of students that participate, so maybe we can do that at the end. Okay, great. So we continued our study, and we saw some interesting things here with the men. Intrinsic motivation, it's one of the orange boxes for success. We saw that there was a maintenance of intrinsic motivation for men that participated as mentors at École des Grands, and that for the two control groups, there was a diminished intrinsic motivation. And perception of skills, self-perception of skills and acquiring skills. For men, we see an increase that is statistically significant and something non-significant in our two control groups. So for men, we saw indicators of educational risk that gave positive results following their engagement in École des Grands. We didn't see anything significant for women, so there's no significant result that came out. And the last orange box that came out with positive results for men is their feeling of autonomy, their sense of autonomy, or the mentors that are École des Grands. We saw a marginally significant increase versus something non-significant in the control groups and nothing for women. So it helps the students at risk. It helps men, this program, for educational success. It allows our college students to shut off their phones and make friends. We see social adaptation go up. And that has positive results on their mental health. So why does this program work? We were wondering this in 2019, and this is what we found. We found in the scientific literature that when we have protective factors around our college students, particularly those at risk, but also when we have protective factors at the elementary level with the at-risk students, there are of these protective factors that help develop academic resiliency. Academic resiliency is the theory that tries to understand why a student at risk performs better than expected. So my hypothesis is that it's the presence of these protective factors, these tools that our students have developed that help them to have academic resiliency, and this helps to reduce educational risk. Can you explain what protective factors are? Yes, protective factors. I'm going to explain that in a second. But these are tools we put in place in the environment of the student that is at risk. These tools that are known to develop resiliency. So what are these protective factors, these tools, these protective factors that help develop resiliency? Well, École des Grands has been built around these 9 protective factors that lead to resiliency. So I will explain. Our college students that work at École des Grands will develop their social skills. They will develop their problem-solving skills. They will develop autonomy. We will have positive expectations of them. We will see them positively. We will tell them that we believe in them, that they are a big brother, they're an example, a big sister, that they're important and they're working for an important cause, contributing to the future. And there will be great relationships between them, their team, their coordinator, and they will feel positive engagement. So why does this all work? And why does it work better than other programs? And that's what I hope that you can take away from this today, whether or not you do École des Grands or not, but it's the quality and quantity of protective factors that we give our college students, our mentors. These have been developed and chosen to develop resiliency, and that has an impact on their educational success. So the idea is to think about the different services, the different programs we offer our students at the college level. How many of these factors of protection can be found consistently and clearly in these programs that we offer at the college level or any other college-related services? And my hypothesis is the more protective factors are there, the better it will impact educational risk. So I want to go beyond École des Grands here. I think we have something here that can really have a positive impact on reducing educational risk at the college level. Okay, we're on the same page? Anything that's not clear? No, very clear. Okay, so the impact at the elementary school as well. So Christian, our first student, École des Grands at Marie-Victorin Cégep, he was at 15. He did. Christian finished high school and graduation. It was his mentor Leslie that was with him, and they remained friends. And this year, Christian came back to Cégep because he's at college level. He came back to Cégep Marie-Victorin to be a mentor at École des Grands. So it is a form of recruitment as well, the alumni that come back and become mentors. So we see that at the majority of CEGEPs, that our cohorts of students, l'École des Grands is today at the college level, and they come back as mentors later on. So I'm going to present the impact at the elementary school level to school boards and 3 schools in one region, 2015 to 2017. And we see the progression of the grades here, semester per semester. What we see in blue is the participants of the École des Grands, and orange are students of the same groups, same classes, same school, same cohort, same average as our students, but that didn't do École des Grands. So orange is the control group, and the class that could have participated at École des Grands but didn't participate at École des Grands. So what we see here is our students at École des Grands are improving in French, math, and science, that the control group that have the same average as our students but that didn't participate in École des Grands, their averages go down and go up in French, but not as much as our students. We did the study again before the pandemic in 4 school boards. We looked at that, and science grades increase at École des Grands and go down with the control group. Averages that were very similar but that stay maintained at École des Grands would go down with the control group. So it helps these students at the primary level that have a double vulnerability. Not only they come from unfavorable circumstances, but they have had trouble with their studies in the past, and their averages make it so that they have a precarious future in education, and they could drop out before high school. So in high school. So the 2016-2023, a study of 11 primary schools, 5 regions, and we see that the control group has scores have gone down in math, but the École des Grands has performed better and has not gone down as much, and we see it also with the other with the boys and with the girls. There is less of an increase, and then for the population that are double vulnerable, that have averages between 50 and 70, and that have came to 6% of our activities that have been exposed to the program, and that come from unfavorable schools or schools with low socioeconomic scores. Their performance doesn't drop as much after École des Grands. So it really helps the little boys and helps particularly young men and boys that are vulnerable. So what we saw here in this study, in French, everybody increased their grades, École des Grands and the control group as well, but the spread is not significant. I can't attribute that to École des Grands. We haven't seen anything significant for boys either. Same thing for vulnerable girls, those who are 60% plus in our activities, participation, I mean, and we can't attribute that to ours because it's not significant. But we saw something that is very significant in our control group, but a significant drop, a non-significant increase at the experimental group and participants at École des Grands, but a marginal significant drop in the control group. So the trends make it so that if you participate at École des Grands, you can increase our grades or maintain, but if you don't participate in École des Grands, you will we'll see a drop in the grades. Yes. For me, it's very clear. If people want more information, you can ask questions, of course. And I have 2 questions for you, Alicia. Go ahead. The first one, there is Vincent Marin. How many students is the smallest cohort in a small CEGEP, for example? Well, about 5 or 6 mentors and about 10-15 students at the elementary school level. And the second question, Valérie, do you have any data on the scores, the grades of the mentors after one semester or after a year? Have you done a study on that? Well, this is complicated because we have students from different cohorts, different CEGEPs, different years, different. It was really difficult to compare apples to apples. I had people from different programs, and we could compare them. So it was very difficult. We have the data, but we don't know how to sort through it yet. So what we're going to try to do in the next 5 years with Université de Montréal, ECOB, and UQAM is to measure the success rate, the college graduation rate at the different levels, at the students and the mentors. So a longitudinal study over 10 years on if they graduate or not. But there's R scores that go up quota, but what does it mean when the quota increases versus one program versus the other? You can't really compare. It's really difficult. We can't compare apples to apples, so I can't do anything with that for now. I hope it answers your question. Yes, I have a question from myself. Can we make the slide deck available, but redacting the parts that reveal the results from 2016, 2023? Yes, we can do that. Okay, perfect. Okay, I will send that to you. Well, I can do that. Okay. So, École des Grands, we're everywhere in Quebec. We cover 12 regions. The advantage for CEGEP is a great platform that allows community engagement, that allows the students to get involved, to have citizens that are engaged, stimulates engagement in the community with the CEGEP, and increases resilience of our students, and it's new form of recruitment for the CEGEP. What we do at the Fondation W is we accompany the CEGEP, your project coordinator, and primary schools for free. We develop all the tools, turnkey system, everything is given to you for free. We give you a license also for l'École des Grands for free, which is the vanilla ice cream. We teach you how to do it, and then we decide to help you decide what kind of toppings you want to put on there and make your sundae. So we will help you with your certification, with the whole process, and we will help you with media relations as well. And we'll look at the financial plan as well, but if there's a CEGEP that has problems paying for breakfast or transportation, we will help you with that as well. So last year we gave $120,000 to support CEGEPs with transportation and breakfast who couldn't pay for the CEGEPs who couldn't pay for that. So we, as I said, in 71% of Quebec, so 12 regions out of 17, 50% of CEGEPs in Quebec. We cover more than 1/3 of the Centre de Services Scolaires, and since the creation of the program, we have more than 4,000 participants, so it's 1,700 college and 1,400 students at the different levels, and also Université d'Ottawa, we just opened to offer a university program versus a college or a primary school. So how does it work for costs? Well, it's a shared cost with the community. We will absorb most of the costs, but everybody will have to pitch in at a lower cost for it to be sustainable. So École Primaire is responsible for the transportation. And if the school is less than 1 kilometer, you can walk it. It's not a problem. It becomes free. The CEGEP is responsible for the pizza lunch twice a year, one per semester for graduation, to give us some space as well, and have a project coordinator. And there's a menu that what you can do. The mentors cost nothing, and we will develop a protocol with the city for the security clearance. We have a guide for the implementation, for the mentors, for the coordinators. We will give you all of that. Impact study, we will handle that as well, and we will give you a resource to accompany your project coordinators throughout the year. Your project coordinator will have to raise funds in the community to pay for materials, breakfast, etc. But we will help them with the partners that are the co-op of the CEGEP, the cafeteria of the CEGEP, the foundation of the different colleges, your different ERCs and county services and other services that can help you. So we will accompany you in raising the funds. So in the restrictions that we have now for the coordinators, I have developed a menu with the winning practices, the different options, and the different CEGEPs and what they do. So a lot of CEGEPs give a liberation 0.2 ETC, a prof or a professional, to carry the project. So it's about $20,000. There's an option B, which I see here in a lot of CEGEPs. It's a team of project coordinators. So that's part of the task of a professional. There's maybe an assistant that has a liberation, part of her task, and there's a liberation for one teacher, a 0.1 or 0.2 ETC. There's also another option, which is to give a contract, piecemeal of 150 hours per year. All this is annual, of course. So $34 an hour. We're talking about $4,500 to $6,000. So that's a freelancer. So those who started this project for 1 year, 2 years, where the partners are running the project, I see them transition to a model option D or E, meaning it's always carried in the task of a professional, included in the task, but then they have a student of the CEGEP that was a mentor, and they give them a contract so that this person is there on the Saturday. And this can be a contract paid by the CEGEP or through a grant from Pôle d'enseignement supérieur. So it could be zero or not expensive for the CEGEP to have a student paid for their services on the Saturday. So in the first years, it was a teacher, the professional that was there on the Saturday with our students. That's the difference. We don't do that. We do it with students now. So there's pilot projects we are doing with certain CEGEPs so that in parallel to the model of the École des Grands, currently, we can develop also a branch or a complementary course and an internship. It costs $0 as well. So that's École des Grands. I'm going to take your questions now. What a beautiful presentation, Alicia. Wow. Wonderful, inspiring. It's extraordinary what you've presented. And I'm not exaggerating. I really loved it. One last question. How do you measure social adaptation in your students, CEGEP students? Good question. All of those orange boxes, social adaptation is part of that, the indicators for risk in education. These are all questionnaires that are validated, created by the research chair in Canada on educational risk at Université de Montréal. Isabelle Archambault created those questionnaires that built those. So these are self-reporting questionnaires with weighted questions that are interrelated, and the answers will be on a graded options, weighted options. So it comes from validated questionnaires that are quantified. And so Likert scale from 1 to 7, 1 to 5. Okay. Listen, Alicia, we've already finished our time today, but everybody is still with us, and we've received many positive comments, and people are very interested. So if you agree, I will redact all the latest results and send the rest of the presentation to our participants today. I want to thank you for your time today and presentation. It was very clear, very interesting. Thank you to all the participants who really seemed to enjoy the presentation. Thank you, and we hope to meet you in person soon at one of our conferences, and our participants as well, we hope at our next conference. So thank you, Alicia, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. We will see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.